can only be called a monumental travesty of justice. Convicted for the heinous crime of rape and murder, Dera Sacha Sauda chief Gurmeet Ram Rahim held an online satsang from Uttar Pradesh's Baghpat just days after he was released on a parole of 40 days. What was even more shocking is that a number of BJP leaders were seen attending this satsang to seek blessings from the Dera chief. From Karnal Mayor to the senior deputy mayor to the deputy mayor, all of them made a beeline for the satsang. Importantly, this comes just weeks ahead of the Panchayat elections in Haryana and the crucial Adampur bypoll, all in areas where the Dera, headed by Gurmeet Singh, holds substantial sway. First, listen in to the entire interaction between the so-called spiritual guru and these BJP leaders.
हाँ जी, ये करनाल से लिख के आया है। मेयर रेनू बाला वो जी आ गए हैं, तो अगर पॉसिबल है वो बात करनी चाहते हैं तो कर सकते हैं बेटा।
धन धन सतगुरु तेरा ही आसरा।
आशीर्वाद बेटा, बहुत स्वागत बेटा जी।
पिताजी आपका आशीर्वाद बना रहे।
जी बेटा।
और पहले भी आप करनाल आए थे और स्वच्छता का जो संदेश आपने दिया था उससे करनाल आगे बढ़ा है और आगे भी आप आकर करनाल को आगे बढ़ाएं।
जी।
स्वच्छता का जो संदेश देंगे फिर से सबको आशीर्वाद दें।
जी बेटा, जी बेटा, बहुत आशीर्वाद बेटा। आप सब जिम्मेवार अपने पूरे देश को चमकाएं बेटा, पूरा आगे लेके जाएं, भगवान से प्रार्थना है बेटा, और मालिक सबको ताकत दे, हिम्मत दे। बहुत आशीर्वाद पुत्र, आशीर्वाद बेटा जी। स्वागत आपका सबका।
Times now went and confronted all of these leaders, asking them how they could actually seek audience from someone who has been convicted for heinous crimes. They, however, brushed it off as a personal visit and denied that there was any connection whatsoever between them seeking the blessings of the Baba and the upcoming elections.
चुनाव का कोई ऐसा इसमें कनेक्शन है नहीं पैरोल का, क्योंकि पैरोल एक आदमी का एक राइट है। मान लो जो भी अंदर कोई सजा काट रहे हैं और उसका राइट है पैरोल के लेना। ऐसा भी हो सकता है कि दिवाली के नाम की वजह से पैरोल लगाई हुई आदमी अपने परिवार में आके वो कर ले, तो जरूरी नहीं है कि पैरोल उसके सिर्फ इलेक्शन के लिए।
The sad part though is that no political party remains on a holier than thou situation when it comes to Babas like this. We spoke to Haryana's Jail Minister Ranjit Singh Chautala. The minister also ducked responsibility. Surprisingly, or actually not surprisingly, even Congress's senior most leader in Haryana remained non-committal when asked about who is responsible for treating such convicts like demigods.
जब कोई किसी की सजा होती है तो लिख के भेजा जाता है कि इसको आप इस समय जेल में रखेंगे, तब तक रखेंगे। उसके बीच में पैरोल एक प्रोविजन है, जब कितने समय जेल कट जाए 3 साल के बाद उसको मिलती है, हर आदमी का राइट है। 40 उन्होंने उन्हें बेल दे दी, पैरोल मिल गई। पैरोल मिलने के बाद हमारा काम है ड्यूटी से उन्हें 12 अथॉरिटीज को दे देना।
अभी देख रहे हैं ऑनलाइन बाबा जी सत्संग कर रहे हैं और सारे जितने मेयर,
ये एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन हमारा काम नहीं, हमारा केवल जेल की 4 दीवारी तक है ड्यूटी तक।
उधर तक बाबा राम रहीम के सत्संग में करनाल के कुछ लोग जुड़े थे, मेयर जुड़ी थी और कोई लोग थे, उसको देकर काफी विवाद हो रहा है आज।
सबकी अपनी अपनी आस्था है।
चुनाव में ही
You're watching the News Hour at 10, debate number 2 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
So all is well with Babas who've got criminal cases against them as long as they remain politically relevant. Joining us on the debate, Raman Malik, leader of the BJP, Vaibhav Agarwal, chairman of the Yuva India Foundation, Ranjana Kumari, activist, Brinda Dige, activist. Mr. Raman Malik, how is it okay for a mayor, a deputy mayor to go and say, Baba ji, aapki blessings chahiye?
That is their personal belief or their personal doing. See, the Constitution very clearly says that the nation is a secular nation where every person has his or her right to do some or the other religious practices, preaching, whatever, but in their own domain and not in domains which are constitutional in position. So if a mayor, deputy mayor or a senior deputy mayor in their personal capacity go over to some satsang or somebody, that is their own personal choice. They are not doing it for the party, they are not doing it for the position that they hold.
Then why just satsang?
So,
it should be perfectly
may
okay
not
for
be right.
politicians to go and meet underworld dons. I mean, he may be underworld don for you, but he's my best friend from when we were 2 years old. Then politicians should go rub shoulders with underworld dons also. Murderers, mafia,
Padmaja,
gangsters.
for that you will have to answer. You will have to answer for that.
No, I don't have to answer. I've got no friends who are underworld dons.
Being a personal
but
friend.
sir, if you can make an argument, oh, this is your personal choice,
so,
then you can hobnob with criminals and gangsters also.
Let's assume Mr. A knows somebody who's Mr. B who's a don. That is for A to answer about his.
Which is why we are answering. Which is why we are asking you.
Is not for
because these people belong to your party.
No, this is not. See, the organization, Padmaja, the organization does not favor him because of the simple fact that it was this government under whom action was taken. There was proper investigations and every possible help given to the justice judiciary, and then he was convicted, and when he was convicted the drama unfolded and everybody saw it.
Right.
Still the government made sure that the arrest happened.
So let me bring in Ranjana Kumari on the first piece of argument. The argument is personal astha, Ranjana Kumari. Nothing to do with the party. It is personal, not party.
Well, Padmaja, the moment
let Ms.
you
Ranjana
called
Kumari
me,
come in, please, and then you respond. Ms. Ranjana Kumari.
Padmaja, the moment you called me an activist, I think the two gentlemen sitting on the panel, and especially representing political party, I think certainly they immediately start with some kind of a bias. When it comes to their personal choices, they can choose a dacoit, a murderer, a rapist, someone who created mayhem and who is being punished for creating, and his own, as he's claiming, his own party government when came to power punished him and taking credit for punishing. But then people can choose to follow that person because he's a Baba. Now, a murderer, a rapist, a man who castrated so many men, and the person who has been responsible for mayhem at the time and people died, all those things are not really considered by him for anything. I mean, the person who's a criminal, a person who is just on parole because he has a right to get parole. Okay, he's on parole, but at the same time, he is a rapist. So these days, there is travesty of justice going on in the country. You would release 11 men just like that because they have behaved very well during even when they came out and did all kinds of things, which is considered, against the law. Even this man, who is still a convict, who's only on parole, people are going and touching his feet. People are going and, so you allow all this. So
and not just any people. The deputy mayor. What is this deifying of a criminal? That is the problem, sir.
Exactly.
You are deifying a criminal.
You are venerating, you are putting him on pedestal, you are giving him social and religious
just as a moral statement, do you think it is okay for people in positions of responsibility to deify a criminal, a convicted rapist? Isn't it an insult to the religion itself? Today it is being argued this has got nothing to do with politics. So, what do you think the mayor and the deputy mayor meant when they said, Baba ji, आपका आशीर्वाद चाहिए, आप आइएगा, आप करनाल आइएगा, आपका आशीर्वाद चाहिए? किस चीज के लिए आशीर्वाद मांग रहे हो? किस चीज का आशीर्वाद? कि वहां पे पंचायत पोल्स होने वाले हैं, उसके लिए नहीं मांग रहे हो, बस कह रहे हैं ऐसे आशीर्वाद दे दीजिए, अच्छे मौसम का आशीर्वाद. किस चीज का आशीर्वाद मांग रहे हैं?
I think okay, from a social angle, I think you have a very valid point. Okay, great. How it appears is how it appears, and what we all saw was what happened. We saw the exchange between the leaders and the spiritual guru as well. However, let me bring in a small point from a social angle, not a political or a legal angle. For a moment, let me be away from it. You see, a public representative has his or her hands tied when it comes to popularity contests amongst the people. Now you have to understand, this is not just some convict or some criminal that we are talking about. The guy has clearly millions of followers and the guy still commands those followings, and without having to bring this to the fore, it doesn't mean that any of us or the followers endorse what they are. What he's been convicted.
But sir,
for.
you
But
do.
I would also
You are legitimizing what he's doing. For all these years, the man had a free run for the very reason कि आपके नेता, कांग्रेस के नेता जा करके उनको प्रणाम करते थे. That is why he thought he was invincible. And now you're again giving him that cloak of invincibility. Do you not realize that you in his darbar or any neta in his darbar gives him that cloak of invincibility? Brinda Digi. I mean, the argument being given over here is, अब क्या करें, वो popular है और चुनाव आ रहे हैं, so what to do? ये लोगों की गलती है. Why do they venerate people like this?
Absolutely right, Padmaja.
May I complete what I was saying?
Brinda Digi.
Padmaja, you asked me a question, so may I respond?
Yes, go on, please.
Yes, you are right. Politicians give these people like Ram Rahim, heinous rapists, murderers, and people who have kept people in illegal confinement, that cloak, that mantle of being invincible. And the powers that be must understand that they promote these kind of people. Now, Mr. Yadav said that what can we do? It is his popularity. Exactly. So let his popularity be there only. Don't you think, as a common citizen, with whatever common sense that we might have, that his parole 1 month before the polls has ulterior motives? That is why he was released, come out on parole, so that his popularity could garner votes for those people contesting elections. Now, all the legalities apart, people who are contesting elections are contesting on my behalf, on behalf of the citizen. Where is their moral, ethical standard to say we will have nothing to do with Ram Rahim, irrespective of what his popularity might be? We stand by the Constitution,
one expects
the law
from
of the
public
land
representatives, Raman Malik, that you will give the message कि भले से ये अपने साथ 1.5 लाख वोट लेकर के आए, बट इस आदमी के कृत्य ऐसे हैं कि हम इनके सामने बिल्कुल नहीं जाएंगे. He should be delegitimized by popular leaders such as your party. That is your responsibility.
So, I will again tell you a basic thing. There was a girl, Sukanya Devi, who was wiped out from existence only. The case was so well disguised that the honorable courts could not even find a flaw by which they could indict the people involved.
Exactly, sir.
The entire family is
the court
vanished
threw
now.
out that case. Why are you getting in Sukanya Devi?
This guy,
here the court found the man guilty. Not any TV debate, not some kangaroo court. The courts of our country. Let me ask you a simple question, Mr. Malik. Tomorrow, if some leader of the Congress, you are in the BJP, some leader of the Congress goes to Zakir Naik and says, Zakir Sahab, आप तो बहुत जबरदस्त हैं, आपका आशीर्वाद चाहिए. Would you be so charitable and say, वो अपनी personal capacity में गए थे? Would you say that, sir? Would you be so charitable, Mr. Malik?
Vijay Singh took it.
That is why you attack him.
Vijay Singh took it for
that is why you attack him. That is why you attack him. Because politics and popularity of some guru or some dharm guru doesn't make it okay to say अच्छा वो popular है, वो vote bank है, तो हम जाकर के उसके सामने आशीर्वाद मांगेंगे.
There has been no statement from the party asking support. There has been no statement from the party.
Sir, your people are there.
Simple thing is,
your actual people are there. पार्टी के स्टेटमेंट की क्या जरूरत है? वो खुद इन पर्सन है वहाँ पे.
Conflict of interest has played over here.
नहीं मतलब अगर एक बारी को आप ये देखें कि मोदी जी ने शादी नहीं करी है तो पूरी भाजपा ने शादी ना करी हो, ये कौन सा स्टैंडर्ड हो गया? You are giving illogical statements, Padmaja.
No, sir, this is not illogical. If you have got people who are going to be headed into elections seeking Ashirwad, then it seems to make it even more clear what was the reason for giving parole. It solidifies people's suspicion कि parole मिला ही इसीलिए क्योंकि चुनाव आ रहे हैं.
Listen, I can challenge all those people who have been some kind of walas to go to the honorable court and say this parole is unconstitutional, illegal and immoral in nature, and let them put an application there and see how the court
it's a challenge.
Gentlemen, look, Padmaja, I want to discuss the issue. I want to deter such men on your panel, and which you can very competently do it, to not really engage in all kinds of personal attacks and abuse, okay? Because it doesn't matter to me what are these people conveying to Indian women? What are they saying to women who get gang raped?
This is a ridiculous argument.
What are they trying to say? Are they trying to say a rapist because he's a murderer who has been found guilty by the court and who has been put behind the bar?
What are we talking about?
He is coming out on parole, which is his, as I said, his legal right. I have not challenged that. But all these people are going to him, praying to him for vote, are legitimizing him. They are they're normalizing rapists.
What is the message you are giving? What is the message you are giving? What is the message you are giving?
I think Ranjana ji is absolutely rubbishing the issue at the larger hands that we are discussing here. She's making it a feminist issue, and I think she should refrain from herself. This is a conviction issue.
I
argued the Me Too issue with Padmaja. So I am all for the girl. It is about conviction. The law is absolutely punishing him to the full force, and you cannot make it a feminist issue. Sorry, don't make it man versus woman and trivialize the issue, Ranjana ji. 1 minute, Ranjana ji, you had your opportunity. Let me make a point here. Ranjana ji, let me make a point here. Ranjana ji, let's not trivialize the issue like this. Let's not trivialize the issue like this. I think this is absolutely rubbish.
No. Let's stick to facts over here. Let's stick to facts. Now let me give you an analogy. That being said, let's be clear that politicians, nobody is above board when it comes to dealing or legitimizing these unsavory characters when polls are round the corner, because everyone has their political benefits. You say, all right, let's make it this convict with benefits. That being said, imagine this, Raman Malik, that if you have tomorrow somebody who is responsible for the post-poll violence in West Bengal from the Trinamool Congress, and Mamata Banerjee, and he comes out on parole, and Mamata Banerjee goes and meets him and shakes his hand and says, oh, come, let's have dinner. Would you be okay with it? Would you say, oh, this is not a political visit, they've had a long association? Would you be okay with that, Raman Malik? And what message would be sent to the victims of the violence that this man has been responsible for? And not one, multiple victims. What message would you send to these people?
Had it been an analogy that you have been describing, everybody would feel the same, because the intent to deliver law has never been there. We have always shown the intent and bona fide to deliver law as per law inscribed in the Constitution, Padmaja. And
Sir,
let me be very clear.
If you arrest a man and then you hobnob with him, what is the point?
That please the investigations happened.
Sir, investigation has happened. The man has been convicted. Your party members are hobnobbing with the convict. That's the problem. You say we sent this man behind bars, then he must be an evil man. And if he's an evil man, why are your party members hobnobbing with him? And if your party members are hobnobbing with an evil man, why aren't you sacking them?
No.
Yes.
See, these people are individuals, their constituents.
But they are individuals put in positions of power by you.
Have met him or
they have been made a mayor by you.
That is their
They are responsible for keeping the victim safe, the people safe, not some Babaji being given ashirwad to them.
Would you be okay? Listen to me. Tomorrow, if I say that nobody, because I am a mayor, nobody of the city is permitted to eat XYZ, nobody is permitted to pray in an XYZ position.
You cannot give any excuse. Not only is it conflict of interest, but it is belittling the citizens. Not only belittling the citizens, it's insulting, humiliating, and telling the victim survivors, we don't care for you.
Absolutely,
we care for
because
this man
who has
followers, even though he's a rapist murderer.
These politicians have gone to the doorstep of this so-called Babaji, trying to get the votes of his supporters. Has anyone paused to think that the people who were victimized by this so-called Baba are also voters. Think of the message that you'd be sending out to them. There are women who will be watching you. They are also voters. What is the message that you're sending out to them? This cannot be legitimized in our country. Thanks very much, both gentlemen, Ranjana Kumari and Brinda Adige, for joining me. Thanks very much for watching.